Hi, this is Don Bartlett from the Gospel Revolution. I've been associated with the Gospel Revolution for some years now and am absolutely over the moon about the freedom that it's brought me. You know, years ago, there was, don't start now, blood in my mouth. Years ago, at the end of World War II, there were a bunch of returned soldiers in France. And they didn't know who they were. They were shell-shocked. That's what they called PTSD back then. And as shell-shocked soldiers, they had no memories. But they paraded them over the main stage of the biggest opera house in Paris. Brought in every person who said that they didn't know whether their relative was alive or dead in the war. And they put the spotlights on these guys, these soldiers. And the soldiers would say, "Who am I? Does anybody out there know who I am?" I just did a stint in a Vanderbilt hospital in Nashville, where I was, God bless those doctors, they saved me from COVID-19. I was in there 3 months to the day, and I was intubated, and they drew a whole bunch of liquid up my lungs, and whole things happened, which I don't know what happened actually, because I was in delirium. For most of that 3 months, I had no idea who I was. I thought the nurses were out to kill me. But I came out of it, thankfully, and I came out without any shadows, and I know, except that maybe you can tell me if I come out with less brains than I went in, but it was a pretty trying time, just to let you know. And I want to ask you today, I've only got one question. Who are you? Really? Really? Who are you? When I was in delirium, I was living a whole other life. Having spoken with people since I came out, I understand it to be very similar to what people get when they take the hallucinogenic drug called DMT. I saw other beings, and you can't tell me I didn't, because I was there. I spoke with them. I encountered them. Was it real? I don't know. Because I do know this, things which were real in my life when I was under treatment, I don't remember that. People tell me things that happened in real life, and I don't remember that at all. I don't remember having shared with anyone. And when I did share with anyone, I made total sense to myself. But they tell me now that I made absolutely no sense. It was like I was on drugs, which I guess I was, really, when you think about it. Where you go to hospital and you get drugs. But my question to you today is, who are you? I was somebody else. Are you in delirium? There was a story about a European king who went to his African colony, and on the way from the airport to the city, he stopped the cavalcade, and he said, I need something. So he dashed out of the car and into a store front, and he asked the store manager for something, and the store manager had his back turned to the counter, and he said, "Shush, shush, the king's cavalcade is on the way to the city. Don't interrupt it." He missed the king because he was listening to the story. Are you missing the king because you're listening to a story? I was born under a pew, and 5 decades of my life was spent being a good little Christian. Mike Williams says something interesting. He says if you want to be a good Christian, you've got to be a good liar. And that's what I was. I was a very good liar. But I was somebody else. I was a B-grade actor trying to play an A-grade part for a C-grade audience. And you ask me why I'm so emotional about it. It's very simple. The songs I sang, I imbibed with my mother's milk. You don't get rid of that stuff. You don't. I'm sorry, I'm not even going to try anymore. I used to try. Now I can't be bothered. I like the tunes of those old hymns. But I don't listen to the words anymore. Because, you see, the words are death to me. The words are, do good, get good, do bad, get beat. I can attain to Jesus only in as much as I make him happy. I can get God's hand in my life only in so much as I bring a smile to his lips. And it took me years to realize I could not disappoint God. I used to stand in front of people, crowds, and I'd say, do you think you can disappoint God? People would put their hands up, oh yeah, we can disappoint God, all right. And I would say, when you've been disappointed in humans, why was that? And the answer was, because of false expectations. And I had to ask myself, do I think God has any false expectations of me? I don't think so. And I don't think God has any false expectations of you. And when you're playing your B-grade acting role, you're not fooling God. You don't have to appeal to God. You don't have to be good enough for God. The question is God good enough for you? See, I know who you are. Oh yeah, I know who you are. You are God in the earth. You and God are one. You are God. I don't know where I start and he ends, or where he starts and I end. The only thing I can tell you for sure about God and me is I'm pretty sure that when I'm unkind and my characteristics and my personality take on the aspects of a gravel road that you're walking in bare feet, I'm pretty sure that ain't God. I don't care what prophets say. Prophets say, I'm a prophet. Prophets just speak this way. We speak hard to people. No, you don't. You're full of crap. The biggest crock of frogs droppings I've ever heard, which is an excuse to be an arsehole. That's all it is. My God is kind and gentle. He needs to have no appeals to the altar. He just waits for me. I mean, he just waits for me, just waits for me. And if I don't meet him before I die, he'll keep waiting. Because I'm going to meet him after I die. The beautiful thing about God is that he's God. And the being God, he made the rules. And the rules he made were this: there are none righteous, no, not one. And that was before the cross. And when the cross came along and Jesus took all of what creation required to reach its fruition, conclusion, hiatus, totally planned results, God and man were made one. You know, in Psalm 68 it says that God, it says, Christ received a sacrifice. And if you read carefully, it then says that even the rebellious should be part of God. Now, you read that in Ephesians, it quotes whoever wrote this part of Ephesians. And they say, they don't mention the rebellious. See, the thing about my God is he took even the rebellious into himself. I know who you are. You are God in the earth. And you ask me why I get so emotional. I'll tell you why I get emotional. Because I was robbed. And there's no way that I can accept that and not be emotional. You were robbed too. You were robbed by the slanderous put down of God that you learned in religion. What you learned about God was libelous, slanderous. It was foul. It was everything about God taken and reversed. And you were told to believe that. But if you stick with us, guess what? We'll make sure that you're accepted by God because God accepts those people who we accept. I want to tell you something. You've been robbed. Be robbed no more. Listen to your heart. And listen to the one who says, come unto me. All you who labor and are heavy laden, and I got rest for you. I don't care what you call Christianity. You can call it anything you like, but let me tell you, there's a lot of heavy labor involved. A lot of heavy labor involved. You don't need to worry about that anymore. He is inside you, just waiting for you to say, peekaboo. Can you see me yet? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And you're about to have the most amazing love affair. The most amazing romp through the universe of love with your divine part that you ever guessed was possible. When divinity married humanity, creation was complete. You are complete. I don't give a rat's what people say you are. I don't give a rat's what people say I am anymore. I got many years behind me, many more behind me than I have in front of me, and I'll be dead soon enough. I may as well be honest. And I encourage you to be the same. Be honest. He's in there waiting for you to just say peekaboo. He is so gentle. He is so, you talk about 1 Corinthians 13, the love chapter. Man, that doesn't even begin to touch the sides of what he is. And you are complete in him. I don't care what people say about me. I would rather what Paul said about me. You are the righteousness of God. I'm the righteousness of God. Yeah, you are the righteousness of God in Christ. When God gets up in the morning, he looks in the mirror, he sees my face because I'm the righteousness of God. You are the righteousness of God. Don't miss the King. Don't miss the King because you listened to the wrong story. Don't do that. Who are you? When you say, who am I? Has the world ever even seen the real you yet? I want to tell you something. You are going to be so amazed by how relaxed you become once you don't care anymore. Hello, someone's calling me on the phone. Too bad. You are going to be amazed at how much peace. You thought you had peace before in Christianity. I got peace like a river. I got peace. No, you didn't have peace. You sang about it a lot, but you didn't have it. But I can tell you this now. I have a peace that passes understanding. Now, you couldn't tell me that about Christianity. I'm sorry. My peace in Christianity did not pass understanding. I understood it pretty well. I did certain things and I had peace. That's my understanding. But let me tell you something. Nowadays, I have peace which I can't even explain to you because it really does pass understanding. If you want that kind of peace, give up. If you are trying so hard to be a Christian, give up. Come unto me, you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Give up. Who are you? Who are you? I'm like one of the people in that French audience, and I'm putting my hand up and I'm saying, I know who you are. You are God in the earth. You are the ultimate creature of God's design. You are everything He ever planned you to be. And you don't have to do anything anymore to be any more that than you already are. I don't care how much you think you're unrighteous, but let me tell you something. You in 1,000 years, as Mike says, you won't be any more righteous than you are today. You won't be any more holy. You won't be any more complete in Him, or perfect, as the Greek says. You already are all of that. How else could you be the righteousness of God in Christ? My dear friends, some of you I don't know. Some of you are scoffing at what I'm saying right now. Some of you are saying it's too simple to be true. And yet, you know what? That's exactly what God is. He is so simple and direct and unreserved and in you. You won't know where He starts and you end. You won't know the ideas and the creativity that comes out of you. You won't know where that came from. But I'll tell you right now, it didn't come from you. It came from the divinity which is in you. You are divine. You weren't always divine. Once you were human, now you're divine. Who are you? Don't miss the King while He's standing right in front of you. Don't do that. This is Don Bartlett from the GR, and I hope I see you again real soon. Goodbye.